What is up, YouTube? Welcome to another video. Thanks for joining me today. So today, the video, as you've probably seen in the title, is kind of the rundown of the show day for my client, Evan, out on the East Coast. I'm still a little bit upset that I wasn't able to make it out there, but I had that whole thing with like 2 weeks out from USA's that somebody threw a landscaping rock in the middle of one of the major highways. It was like 10 p.m. at night, 9:30, 9:45. Couldn't tell what it was. Thought it was like a plastic bag or something. And ended up hitting it with both of my passenger side tires, cracking the rims, popping the tires. So I had to replace everything. $3,000 later. That was honestly the money to make it out to the East Coast and be there with him. So unfortunately, I had to be remote and not there in person. So we faced a couple of challenges. With that, we were doing really good, peaking him as best as we could with the compressed schedule, but I just want to give him a shout out for finishing the fight in the first place, because he had so much adversity through prep, between like job changes and just like 2 days out getting like high level stress kind of stuff with like living situation and his work that he was working in, where it was basically like in a sauna like for 10 to 12 hours a day, waking up at like 4 a.m. to go do poses and get cardio in, and then going back after work to go lift. In all reality, Evan is a super duper trooper, and he made this happen. And we will admit and say that the stress of that whole experience and everything that was going on definitely did affect like the ultimate progress in prep. And we talked about this a little bit, about potentially like extending to a later show or going into the off season with all the adversity and everything that he was facing. But he decided to make this happen and to really push forward. So we did the best that we could. We'll definitely take him into a structured off season, since he basically just started at prep with me, not like on a structured plan and doing like anything super structured, controlled. So prep was kind of the beginning of us working together. We had about 19 weeks, did it the best that we could, just because, you know, a little bit iffy on where his calories started, how much cardio he was doing, how he was working out, all that stuff. But now we've got all that dialed in, all of that controlled. So now we're going to continue to roll with it and continue to push forward, and continue to improve from here on out with that structured meal plan, and getting everything going and dropping the water weight and getting him into a proper off season, and then looking to compete maybe in like another 18 months. But he's doing really awesome. So like with the show day and with the show week, everything was just about as good as we could hope. There was a little bit of confusion as far as like when to start pumping up. Stage runners telling everybody like, start pumping up, and then they weren't on stage for 30 minutes. So we did kind of run into that where he flattened out, especially in the morning before he actually got on stage for the first time, because they started to tell him to pump up like way too soon. So that was something that was unfortunate. Another unfortunate thing is that we were counting on having a scale available at his friend's house that he was staying at, and there wasn't a body weight scale, so it was a little bit iffy trying to figure out like how much weight do we drop overnight, you know, with like diuretics and stuff in play, and like, you know, what's kind of going on there. Are we dehydrated? Are we hydrated? And I'm having to just go off of just pictures. How does his stomach feel? How does his mouth feel? Didn't have like any kind of feedback on at least the weight side to know if it's just like, yeah, we actually woke up and like lost like 5 pounds or something, because that can be fixed. It's usually just dehydration and water, but we just didn't have that feedback. So I was just having to work around that. And I think we did really good, and we looked really solid going into prejudging. But once again, just came down to, I think, the stress backstage and the anxiety of getting on stage. And then the showrunners kind of telling them to all start pumping up. But I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to go to the clips of the actual show for the prejudging, so that you can kind of see everything. And then I'll jump back in, kind of explain what we did in between the shows to try and improve the look before going into finals. And then I'll kind of show the finals and then just kind of final thoughts. so that was prejudging. There was a little bit of weirdness with the show too, because he wasn't able to sign up for True Novice online, but they did have a True Novice class. So I would have preferred him to compete in True Novice, but he ended up doing Novice and Open. And as you can kind of tell from the placings, and I'll just kind of ruin finals for you, but he got second in Novice and then fourth in the Open, which is actually really, really good for your first show, especially kind of just getting into it, dipping your toes in, getting some experience. So that's just kind of how it goes, and we're just going to get better and come back and win it the next time, because he's got an outstanding physique, a little bit of gaps, like thicken the legs just a little bit, close the gap in the thighs, build the arms out a bit, just so that when he's hitting those front and back poses, the arms are a little bit stronger and stand out more. But his back is freaking stand out and amazing. Quads already have good detail. Hamstrings are already there and have good detail. Of course, you know, he's new to this, so it's like everything could be bigger, fuller, tighter, leaner, denser. But all that stuff comes with time, switching up the training, and getting more into a specific kind of bodybuilding style of training, which I'll break down in another video of like what the difference is between like more like powerlifting strength. I want to be like the strongest guy at the gym versus like actually training in a way that like once you step on stage, you have all that detail, crispness, and pop to the actual muscle, and how you would train differently to kind of get that intramuscular detail, as opposed to just kind of like the big main kind of like size sort of thing. So anyways, after prejudging, what we had him do is go and get a burger and fries from McDonald's, start filling up there, did some like rice cakes, peanut butter, chicken and rice meal, then went back to finals. He did his posing routine, got awards, and then after that went out and enjoyed himself, got a huge box of crumble cookies, and started to enjoy some food. I'm going to cut to the finals, his posing routine, which we did together. And he mostly followed, but as per usual, your first show, he kind of blanked on a couple of the poses and skipped over some stuff, but it still turned out really beautiful. He still had people come out and say that it was a beautiful posing routine and his posing was awesome. And that he looked really smooth, really professional, and that like kind of compared to everybody else, he was way more composed on that, and everybody else kind of looked just a smidge awkward on stage. But so we'll cut to that, and then just final thoughts. All right, guys, so there's finals. So obviously, first time running a show, I wasn't able to make it out there. There's probably a little bit more stress than we had kind of hoped for, a little bit of variables that kind of threw things off just a smidge. We could have come in maybe a little bit better, but definitely next time we'll be well into the future. I'll make sure that I'm there in person. We'll probably bring him either to Central United States or bring him here to Utah, so that he can actually stay with me for the peak week leading up to prep, ending and getting on stage, so that we can really fine tune, control the variables, be in the gym with him as he's doing his last kind of week preparing for the show and everything. So that'll be awesome, and a great time, great fun. But yeah, for right now, let's get healthy, let's get some good blood work, and then let's get into a good off season, maintain a lower body fat percentage. So when we start prep, we're not starting around like 21, 22%. We're starting more towards like the 14, 15% range, and only have to come down about 10% instead of, 15 to 17%, which is a lot harder to do, especially in a compressed timeline. But overall, good job, Evan. I hope you enjoy this when you see it. You did awesome. I'm proud of you, and it's just learning, and this is just the first step in your journey. And it's going to be a great journey and a great career because you do have a lot of potential. You do belong, and you proved it by finishing this and showing up the best that you have ever looked in your entire life, despite all the adversity that you were facing. So I'm proud of you, dude. I love you. I'm excited to be there with you every step of the way. But if you guys are looking for a coach, whether for fitness, health, improving blood work, improving your doctor's visits, getting off prescription medications, getting in control of your cholesterol and blood pressure through diet and homeopathic means, love to help you there. And if you're looking to compete in bodybuilding with a coach that actually has time for you, actually will invest with you and start with you from the beginning, and won't just only post you because you're a genetic freak, or will only work with genetic freaks, but actually invests in everybody who walks through the door, hit me up, because I want to help you get to your ultimate physique, show that you can do it, dial in your training, dial in your nutrition, dial in the cardio, and bring out your ultimate potential in bodybuilding. So if you're looking for a coach that actually believes in you, will actually share your posts, and will start with whoever, not just limit themselves to the genetic elite, I'd love to help you. I'd love to help you get to the absolute pinnacle of what you want out of bodybuilding, whether that's one show, whether that's a pro card, whether that's just winning the local state show. Doesn't matter to me. I'm here to help. I'm here to teach you how to do that and how to do it right and stay healthy at the same time. So that sounds good to you. Go fill out my form. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye.
Baby, read the fine print. I've got baggage and it's all Gucci. Don't get too attached to me.